If you're feeling like your emotions are hitting you like a truck out of nowhere, or you're feeling really overwhelmed by them, please know that you are not alone. Over 80% of high achievers out of 1,000 that we surveyed earlier this year have shared that they find it hard to manage their emotions and they feel extremely overwhelmed. And research has also shown that emotional suppression is linked to increased stress, poor focus and burnout, particularly for high achievers. So this is completely natural that you'd be feeling this way. Now, high achievers often carry around unresolved emotions in tailored suits and wonderful posture, and they show up as if there might be nothing wrong. Here's the thing, right, is they've learned to lead, perform and win, but nobody's ever perhaps taught them what to do when emotions show up uninvited. So instead of feeling them, typically we see behaviours like overwork, doom scrolling, binge eating and drinking, or binging Netflix, or isolating completely. And we're told to stay strong, or this too shall pass. But emotional strength doesn't mean suppression or avoiding, it actually means processing. Because if you don't feel it, you can't heal it. Right? And that's not weakness, that's neuroscience. Quick one, as our long-term audience, you will know that our show has grown a lot over the years, and we're thrilled to share with you that we have our very first sponsor. But please don't worry, we're not going to suddenly bombard you with loads of ads. We just want to take a moment to say a big thank you to Meals on Me, who's not only sponsoring us, but they're also fueling us. Meals on Me is a food, meal prep and delivery service who understands that wellness isn't about shortcuts. It's about choosing better every single day. They keep it real with fresh, wholesome meals that fit into your life. For me, when I'm rushing through the day and pushing my limits, Meals on Me powers me on. And the best bit that I find is that there's so much variety and every meal tastes amazing, especially compared to others that we've used in the past. So good nutrition underpins our ability to cope with stress and perform at our highest levels. But it's often an area where most of our clients will struggle. So Meals on Me make it easy, effortless and enjoyable. So check them out today. A special link for you is in the show notes. Thank you to them and thank you to you. So the big mistake is believing that emotions are the problem. And I get it, right? Sometimes emotions and feelings don't feel good and it can be really inconvenient. I used to feel like emotions were very inconvenient. I was trying to achieve what I was set out to do. I was trying to really get things done. But ultimately, these emotions were showing up consistently. And they were a signal, they weren't an inconvenience. So when we bury them in busyness, right, or we try to escape with dopamine, or we power through instead of pause like I used to do, the emotion actually stays and gets stored inside of our body and it hijacks our performance. If you want to go deeper on this topic in particular, check out episode 217, which is all about how your emotions compound. But for now, let's look at a real life example. Take Simone Biles, for example, one of the most decorated athletes of all time. In 2021 Olympics, she shocked the world by stepping back, not because of injuries, but because of emotional overwhelm. She called it the twisties, which it was how she described it, this mental block where her mind and her body felt disconnected. But really, what was happening is her nervous system was screaming for attention. Her heart was looking to be heard. Her emotions wanted to be seen and felt. And she didn't turn it around by continuing to train hard and compete and please everybody else. She actually started to turn that around by listening to what her body had been trying to tell her for years and what her emotions had been trying to get her attention for. So the big idea here is that our emotions are a form of energy, and the heavy ones will not just go away by themselves. They will wait. And when they're unprocessed, they will hijack our stress system and they will run kind of our lives from like the shadows. And I know that sounds a bit freaky, but really what's happening is they will start to run your day-to-day reality and you won't even know it because it can be that subtle sometimes. So this is where the emotional ID steps come in. So this is a 7-step system that we've created that teaches you how to safely meet and move through your emotions so they no longer have to overpower you and overwhelm you. So run through these steps and I promise you, you will start to feel better. So step 1 is to identify the emotion, right? What are you experiencing? How do you know you're feeling this feeling? Is there a physical sensation? Is there a name of the emotion that pops up? Is there a colour that this represents? How do you know you're feeling the feeling? Whatever you do to identify it is absolutely fine. The second step is to feel where it is in your body and place your hands there. So maybe it's a heavy heart, or maybe you feel tension in the shoulders, for example, or a gut-wrenching feeling in the stomach. Whatever it is, go there, place your hands there. And then I would invite you to name it out loud. So I am feeling fear, which is showing up as tension in my shoulders, right? If you're struggling to name an emotion, you can use tools like the emotion wheel, which you'll find on any search engine, and we'll pop one up here for you so you can see, which will start to help you to bring language to what you're experiencing. But if you're right at this point just feeling the feeling, that is absolutely fine. Just acknowledge what that feeling is. Step 4 is to make the sound of the emotion. We want to make a sound because sometimes we can't fully express how we're feeling through a word, right? So our body will remember this feeling. So when we make a sound, it's another way to bring it out of our system, right? So maybe you want to you want to scream into a pillow, right? That's not a sign of weakness. It is science saying we need to get this energy and we need to move it. We need to alchemize it and we need to allow it to pass through us, right? So then what we want you to do, step number 5, okay, is to sit with this feeling. And if you're quite new to this, I would actually recommend you sit with it for maybe 5 minutes and even set a timer for yourself so that you really sit with it rather than, sat with it for a quick 30 seconds and then brushed over it. And really sit with it, lean into it and feel it. Whatever comes up is absolutely fine. And you can ask yourself some questions here. You can ask yourself, what is this here to teach me? What do I need right now? What could be driving this emotion? Ask yourself this and explore as you're feeling the feeling. If nothing comes up, that's okay. If something comes up, let's pay attention because this might be your emotions and your body trying to communicate something to you. And the next thing we're going to do, step number 6, is we're actually going to say thank you. Right? Which might sound really weird, but actually what our subconscious, this automatic part of ourselves that's serving these emotions up, wants from us is a bit of attention to say, are you paying attention to me? Right? That's what it's saying. And you're saying, hey, yeah, I'm paying attention. Thank you so much. And start to relax the body as best you can. And then what I would encourage you to do, step number 7, okay, is to then let go using a breathing exercise. And a really simple one that you can do here is to inhale for 5 seconds, hold it for 20 seconds, if possible, and then exhale for 10. So it's in for 5, holding it at the top, and then exhaling for twice as long. If you're feeling really overwhelmed, sometimes you might want to start with that exercise and start with the breathing, then do the rest of the steps, and then finish with just relaxing and saying thank you to your body. Figure out what works best for you, but do your best to follow these 7 steps and to really pay attention to what is going on and feel the feelings. I highly recommend that you explore what could be causing emotional overwhelm in the first place. You can do this by using a tool like ours, for example, an assessment that takes 2 minutes to complete and shows you where your stress is hiding and how it's impacting your performance in your daily life and what you can actually do about it. But as always, please seek professional support if you feel like it's all a little bit too much right now. The key takeaway today, though, is that you cannot outperform the emotions you're avoiding. You're not just too emotional, right? You're just overdue some inner attention. That's all it is. So to go deeper and for another video that might help you out, check out episode 216, which is all about regulating the nervous system, which will really help to just stabilize your emotional state as well. So let's make high performance feel as good as it looks, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.
If you enjoyed this episode and you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode.
Then share it with a friend who you think might benefit.
Spread the word. That's how we're going to impact the world, by helping each other.
We appreciate you so much, and as always, unconditional love and wellness to you.